After all the jacks are in their boxes and the clowns have all gone to bed, you can hear happiness staggering on down the street. Footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers, Mary. Hey everyone, our song today is the Wind Cries Mary by Jimi Hendrix. This is one of my favorite songs to play when I play live. I actually just recently played it at a farm-to-table dinner. A couple of things about this song before we start. Jimi plays it in the key of F. Now, if I teach it in the key of F, it's going to be pretty prohibitive, meaning a lot of guitar players are not going to be able to pull it off, because that's a tough key on guitar. So one of the first things I do to make it more accessible, even for myself, it's more fun and comfortable to play, is drop it down to the key of D. Okay, so that's the first thing we're gonna do. Now, before you click off the video, because you think, well, this guy's changing the key, so I'm not gonna be able to play along with the album. That's not true. All you have to do is put a capo on the 3rd fret, and everything we learned today is going to sound great when you play along with the album. But for today's lesson, just for simplicity, so all the chords look familiar, I'm just going to leave the capo off, okay? And we're going to learn it in D. It's going to be so much easier. That said, even though this version is more accessible and learning it in D makes it way easier, I will say it's probably best suited for like upper beginners. If you're just still learning your cowboy chords and you've never done a power chord before, you can still try this song. I mean, I would encourage you to do it. You might have a tough time with it, and if you do, don't worry. Just keep practicing, come back to it later. But if you're an upper beginner, you have learned your basic chords, you've done a power chord or two, I think you're gonna have a blast with this one. So let's get right into it. Our intro is using power chords. Okay, and the best way you can approach this is just do a 2-string power chord. We're going to be on the A and the D strings on the 3rd and 5th fret. And what we're going to do is just strum 3 times, and we're going to move that power chord shape up every time we strum. He does a little stop here, or I should say the drums actually do like a hit right there. So it's like hit. So Jimi doesn't really do that. He just lets the chord ring, but the drummer does hit. So when I play this live, I'm trying to imitate the feel of the song. I just come off the power chord, I cover the strings, and I just hit the strings with my pick. And it kind of mimics that snare drum hit. So that's the first half of this power chord idea. Let's look at the second half. What's going to happen is, this is actually a pretty clever move. Your ring and pointer fingers are just going to switch strings, but they stay on the same frets. So my pointer finger is still on the 5th fret, but it's on the D string now. And my ring finger is still on the 7th fret, but it's on the A string now. Okay, so they've actually just switched strings, and that's it. Once we grab this, we can move that shape up exactly like we did the standard power chords. All right, and you can end that with another hit. Sometimes I will just mute the strings, and sometimes actually my last hit, I keep pushing down on this 9th and 7th fret note, and I just slide down. Okay, you don't have to exaggerate it like that. It sounds like Scooby-Doo or something, but it is where we're going. We're headed toward an A chord here, so it kind of makes sense to hit it and slide down. Let's put those two ideas together. First half is going to be standard power chords. Second half is inverted, so switch your fingers. And then we can slide down. Now we're into the verse chords. And what I like to do is an A here, and you're going to do what I call the smush. You're just going to take your pointer finger and you're going to smush it across these 3 second fret notes. And you've got your A. We're going to play the A, 1 and 2. Right here, we're going to do a little transition note. It just sort of passes by quickly, but it is important. And it's on the 4th fret. And your ring finger, if you're doing the A correctly, is just going to be hanging out ready to grab that note. Okay, so 1 and 2 and get that 4th fret note. It's going to go by quick, so don't worry, it won't sound bad. Where are we going next? We're going to a G chord. So it's going to be A, 4th fret note, G chord. If you can't do the whole G chord in time, like if your ring finger and pinky can't grab these upper notes, just do the bass note and then finish the chord later. That's a trick guitar players use all the time. So let's look at the counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That time I played it was actually a great example because I just touched the 4th fret note quickly and then I move right into the G chord. That's what you're going to want to do. Now, after we play that idea, we're going to go to a D chord. And what's interesting here is, and he does this quite a bit in the song, he doesn't just play the chord straight. We're actually going to use this middle finger note here on the high E for a little decoration. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You see what I'm doing there? I'm getting an open high E string and I'm strumming the chord, and then I hammer on very deliberately with my middle finger onto that 2nd fret note. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's put that together with the A, 4th fret note, and G idea. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is going to take care of all of your verses. So if you need to, pause the video, go back, work on that part, the A chord, 4th fret, G, go into the D. Work on that because that takes care of a huge chunk of the song. Now for the chorus, we're going to go to an E chord. If you want, you can play an E7 here. So I'm going to give you that option. The reason I choose an E chord is for whatever reason, it's just a little cleaner, a little tighter to my ear. But I do want to give you that option to play an E7 if you'd like. After this E chord, 1 and 2, we're going to go to a G, 3 and 4. And then we're going to go to the first half of our power chord idea. So just. Then we go right back to E, G. Now when we return to the power chord idea, we're going to do the full idea. 3, 4, 5, stop, 7, 8, 9, stop. Let's look at that chorus part so you can see how that all fits together. So it's going to be E, G, 3, 4, 5, stop, then E again, G. Now the full power chord part. And then we're back. And we're back in the verse at that point. Now that really takes care of pretty much the entire song. After he plays 2 verses and 2 choruses, he does go into a bridge part. It's going to be a D for 2 beats, then a C. Now here, I like to do a C add 9 chord. You can do a regular C. I just think this sounds way cooler. And it sets us up really nicely for the G that's coming. And then we've got an F major 7 chord. At least that's the chord I do. The chords Jimmy does are a little more standard, but again, this is going to sound cool when you play it by yourself. So let's look at the rhythm of those chords. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. You play that 3 times, and then watch what we do. We're actually going to go to an E and a G, just like the chorus. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and E, 2, 3. Go to G, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the funkiest chord in the whole song. He goes to a B flat here. You can do a B flat power chord. That's really tough. And again, I think it's going to be prohibitive for a lot of players. So I'm going to give you a really cool but way easier option. Take your G chord and simply slide it up to the 6th fret. Now it sounds really busy, but when you play it in context, it's going to sound great. So it's just a G chord shape on the 6th fret. That's going to give us a B flat chord. And that's going to go back to a D chord where everything resolves really beautifully and peacefully. So watch that last bridge part. We're going to start on the D. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, E, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3. Slide the G up. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and D. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a full performance of this particular song because, again, I want you to see how all the parts fit together. But before I do, let me just talk about the strumming a little bit. What I've done in demonstrating the pieces of this song is I've kept the strumming as basic and fundamental as possible. But what happens in this song and what happens in most songs is once you get the core rhythm and the beat of the song internalized, your strums are just going to come in and out naturally. So you'll definitely see me and hear me strumming in places and in ways that I didn't quite go over in the lesson. And again, that's just happening naturally as I'm feeling the rhythm of the song. And as you watch, try to think about the parts we've learned. After all the jacks are in their boxes and the clowns have all gone to bed, you can hear happiness staggering on down the street. Footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers, Mary. A broom is drearily sweeping up the broken pieces of yesterday's life. Somewhere a queen, she is weeping. Somewhere a king has no wife. And the wind cries, Mary. The traffic lights, they turn blue tomorrow, and they shine their emptiness on my bed. A tiny island sags on downstream, 'cause the life they lived is dead. And the wind screams Mary. Will the wind ever remember all the names it has blown in the past? And with this crutch, its old Asian wisdom, it whispers, no, this will be the last. And the wind cries Mary. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you're successful with this one. It's really fun to play. Crowds love it, and I know you will too. If you enjoyed the lesson, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.